And how concerned are you about the stability of our foreign policy makers to deal with the thing that they've started to unleash in the Middle East by going after Iran and sort of carrying the waters, if you will, for Benjamin Netanyahu's designs against Iran?
Well, Michael, I'm very concerned. And obviously, I can't get into the details of the briefing, but I agree with all the comments that you played from my colleagues. And it's pretty clear that at this point, President Trump is deliberately misleading the country about the results of the military action he took. I remain absolutely convinced that this was unjustified. There was more time for diplomacy, and instead of giving that time, the president decided, as you say, once Prime Minister Netanyahu had launched attacks on Iran, to abandon the diplomatic talks and join those attacks, drag America into a conflict when he said he would be the president to keep America out of conflicts. And finally, I am really worried right now about the information that the president and his political minions will allow to come out of the intelligence community. Because right now, the President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, has essentially declared that anybody who has a different explanation or different narrative is somehow a traitor to our country, which is just a way of saying to all the folks in our professional intelligence community that if you tell the truth, you're going to be punished. That's very dangerous.
Senator, this administration is obsessed, literally obsessed with controlling the narrative, because if they control the narrative, in my humble opinion, then they can do all the nefarious things that they would like. But, Senator.
Well, Simone, this is exactly what Donald Trump and Hegseth and others are doing, right? They don't want to tell the truth. They don't like it when the press tells the truth. And so what they do is attack the truth tellers. And that's very dangerous in a couple ways. Number one, that is, of course, what authoritarians do to try to undermine the free press and those who are willing to tell the truth. But it also sending this terrible message, as I said, to people in the intelligence community, that if they dare present the facts to their countries or even the facts to other people, their higher ups, that they will get slapped down.
Senator Chris Coons of Delaware was also in that briefing, and he joins us now. We're grateful for your time, Senator. So you heard your colleague, Chris Murphy of Connecticut, saying that the president wasn't telling the truth when he called the Iranian nuclear sites obliterated. We know this president is prone to hyperbole and exaggeration pretty constantly. But from what you saw in that briefing moments ago, do you agree with Senator Murphy?
Well, Alex, look, first, I want to express gratitude that the men and women of our armed forces who were the target of Iranian strikes at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar survived, largely uninjured, unharmed, and to express thanks to the men and women of the Air Force and the Navy. Remember, they're not the policymakers. They don't decide what actions to take. They just carry them out. And in the briefing I've just left, we did get more details about the strike and about how it was carried out and by which forces. I think it is too early for any of us to reach a conclusive estimate of exactly how much damage was done to Iran's nuclear enrichment program and how much capacity remains. And it's important that we not politicize the career professionals in our intelligence community. So whether it's President Trump immediately declaring that the entire program was obliterated, which to me seems truly premature, or whether it's a characterization of specific sites and capabilities and how much they were harmed, that's a matter of being more precise. Here's what matters to me. The administration, in the week that Israel was striking Iran and we were not participating or actively facilitating with those strikes, the administration had the time to come to Congress and to consult before deciding to go ahead with what was a significant aerial assault on Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities. And they owe us immediate updated, detailed assessments as the intelligence community completes them about just how much damage was done, what capabilities remain, and of particular importance to me, whether or not other nations that are nuclear nations, Pakistan, North Korea, Russia, make the decision to help the Iranians rebuild, restart, or accelerate their nuclear program. Look, almost every nation on earth, and I believe every senator here serving, thinks that Iran having a nuclear bomb is unacceptable and that an Iranian enrichment program that is designed to develop a bomb is dangerous. So we should be able to come to a common understanding of what the risks are here, and the administration owes us consultation and briefings as soon as they know more.
Senator, may I ask, that which you are concerned about, and you want to answer the question too, that week that Israel was doing its bombings, when you say the president, the administration had time to come to Congress, why do you think they did not? Was it because potentially, and I realize there'll be speculation on your part, sir, was it because the president was getting lobbied very hard by the prime minister of Israel, and he was worried that perhaps Congress would say, we don't approve of this, we don't want to go in and bomb Iran?
That's a reasonable guess, of course. Look, under a previous president in a previous situation in the Middle East, whether or not Congress would approve of a strike was an open question that was actively debated in the Foreign Relations Committee, on which I serve now and served then. And so if Congress is to retake some of its critical role in approving use of military force, we also have to be clear and swift and appropriate in when and how we will provide that authorization. This is a two-sided relationship. We have to be trustworthy, and the administration needs to trust us with intelligence and with consultation. And so I reject any move on the part of the administration to narrow or restrict what information or intelligence they're going to share with the appropriately cleared members of Congress. But I also urge my colleagues to avoid doing anything that would undermine confidence in our ability to do our oversight job promptly and professionally.
Which brings me to another question, with the president having posted on Truth Social just a short time ago, sir, that he believes the Democrats are the source of the leak of a classified report on those U.S. strikes on Iran. He says prosecution should follow. Your response?
Not helpful, but look, let me go back to a point I made a minute ago. Our intelligence community and our military is the most capable in the world. And in order for us to understand and make decisions about what's in the best interest of the American people, we need to have unfettered, unfiltered access to the products of our intelligence community. So when there are leaks, as there clearly was a couple of days ago, that undermines that trust. I don't know how the president would have concluded which party was responsible for it. In the past, there's been members of administrations and both parties who have leaked critical information. But let me also say this. All of this is distracting from what the Republican majority here in the Senate is working very hard on.
Issue his first statement since the Iran-Israel ceasefire went into effect, and said quite a bit, saying that victory over a fake Zionist regime in Israel, but also said, as part of this, the Americans did not gain anything in this war. What do you make of a statement like that from the Ayatollah?
Well, I think that's what's really unfortunate about the last couple of days of reporting, where the leaked report was given weight that is just not valid for the speculation that was coming from it, because where it was promoted as if it was even accurate or a true assessment of Iranian capabilities and a failure on the part of this military action, because it really bolsters the Ayatollah. He's still in hiding. This was not just a political debate that was happening in the United States. This is an actual military confrontation and a military issue that is occurring where the Ayatollah is in hiding. This was bolstering the Ayatollah while he's in hiding. He's using this as he's doing, this statement of the United States has not had anything, from this. He wants the world to believe that. It is not true. Clearly he has been diminished. His regime has been diminished significantly. It is time now for Iran to move forward as a diminished regime where the opportunity for peace is here, and he should take that opportunity. His regime should take that opportunity. The Iranian people should take that opportunity.
We got to go, but we'll move, and we are going to move past this because I'm going to reiterate one more time, as I did throughout the last hour, Congressman, what we heard from Hegseth and what you were implying about CNN's coverage of the DIA assessment. What we heard in the outrage over it is confirming what CNN reported from the beginning, though it might not be reporting that you enjoy or that the administration enjoys. I listed it out specifically reading from parts of CNN's reporting. What the outrage is over confirms what CNN put as part of its reporting throughout, which is that it is preliminary, which is that as part of the DIA analysis, we reported that sources said the judgments were of low confidence, that it was not coordinated with the wider intelligence community. I could go on and read it, but I already did that once in the last hour. But with that,
Kate, you can characterize it that way now. I watched it as it was occurring.
I'm not characterizing it. I'm not characterizing it. I'm literally reading it. Congressman,
it was reported as accurate. It is not accurate. It was not accurate then.
I'm reporting exactly what our reporting was online and on air throughout with this reporting. You can hear part of it and not like it, but you do need to listen to all of it to understand the full breadth of the reporting. Congressman, thank you for coming on.
Iran's plan to just let Trump hang himself appears to be working. Like, sometimes the best retaliation is to just let it simmer. Right? That's what's conspiring here, right? Donald Trump said earlier today, and he's been saying it for the last few days, and it blew up today in a meltdown by his own military head, the Secretary of Defense, basically saying, we did it, mission accomplished, destroyed them all, never going to be an issue again, I'm the greatest president ever, give me the Nobel Peace Prize, blah, 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 all of that BS, right? For committing an illegal act of war. Trump's a war criminal, right? He is, right? Like, let's be clear. But comes out that maybe this isn't the case. They may have lied. Now the senators are in on it, attacking him. Trump supporters in Congress are yelling at and fighting with members of the media. That even beyond Hegseth, that was just on that CNN clip I showed you. All of this demonstrates that Iran, by simply letting it be known that this didn't work, simply by letting it be known it didn't work, all that's been accomplished is that the United States now hates Trump a little bit more than they did a few days ago. That this is yet another piece of evidence that Americans are starting to see, because Israeli propaganda has been very strong, guys. But this is another piece of evidence as more and more Americans get skeptical of the disproportionate power Israel has over both parties. When, in combination with Trump, they launch illegal acts of war, which is what Israel did too, that hurts them. So Iran, simply by existing, being the victim of illegal war, and then by letting it be known that actually they failed, the two of the world's most powerful militaries failed, well, Donald, I think the retaliation's gotten pretty rough for you.